This is Short Hammer. It is the 20th of June, 2022, and this is Trading Zones. Hopefully, everybody enjoyed the extended weekend, at least those that had the day off. We were looking at the RTY, and what am I looking at? On the 4-hour chart, I am checking out this 1702 area. Very interesting area. We pulled back to it around the 12th of May. We bounced right back into this little zone that we have here, 1748 to the 1790s, I believe. And we revisited that area here on the 14th of June. We did bounce from there, back tested the little channel that we were stuck in for a few. 1740s to 1790s, right? And we rejected because what happens? Demand becomes supply. So for quite a, we were bouncing around in this area for a bit and back in there for a little bit. And then here we sold through after this spike, right? And back test failed. Okay, cool. So my expectation is we should see a back test at the 1702 area to see if that area has become supply, right? We sold through here. We had a slight back test on the 16th of June. I want to see this upcoming week what we do if we touch that area, right? And if we happen to buy through, do we see a rise back up near the 1746s area, and do we reject from there or not? So that will be interesting. If we want to see what happened the last time we were down here around the 1640s, let's flip up to the daily chart, see if that'll show us something. Let's see how far back we'd have to go. Oh, there we go. So the last time we were there on the RTY, here we are, 1680s. Okay, hold on, I like to see the entire thing. I was not going to give it to me the way I want. Okay. Slide you over. So we were here. Interesting. Green candle. Big run, pull back into here around 1746 as we see. This is what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 4-hour candles below the 1745-ish area. That's so 1740. So that's interesting. So if we're able to get through these 1740s on a pullback through here, that would be interesting on a run up. And what's this area here? The 18. Okay. All right. That's interesting. Okay. So we'll see. We'll see if we backtest that area or not. Please remember that the RTY is financials and small cap stocks. That's something to keep in mind. This is going to be very quick today. A lot going on, a lot of different things to do. So busy. But I definitely wanted to run through this watch list real quick and just some higher time frame levels, which I think are always really interesting. I know this chart may look a little bit janky. I'll make sure to call out just based on the size, right? You may not be able to see clearly with all these lines and all this congestion. And I do like things to be clear when we look at them. So we're all seeing the same things. So if we look here, we're out of the 3717. We're in as low as the 3650-ish, looks like 3640-ish area. So if we look across here, when we finally did buy above the 3650 area, right? We back tested once, twice, 3 times, and the buyer stepped in and made higher movement afterwards. So what I would watch for, if we're looking at these 3717s, we had a few days that we struggled to get through that area. And it looks like we're in that little area now between the the 3650s and the 3715s. So that's the area to watch. If we're able to buy up above that, it looks like the next area is the 3747, 48-ish area. Then above that area is the 3772. If we drop back down, we'll see if we go through the 3699, 3692, 3665, 3650s. And if we go lower than that, 3610s are next up on the MES. right over to the MNQ. Actually, first, let me drop down to the 4 hour and see what we got going on. Let's see. Spread this out. I'm just getting used to this computer. Okay. So we had a tap here on the 16th of June, another tap on the 17th of June, the 3650s, right? Pull back up here. We're here. Let's see if we get an extension here into the 3740s too. That's kind of interesting on the lower time frame. So that's something to watch for on the MES, MNQ. Okay. So here's a little channel area that we had. I guess we thought was interesting. Look at that, staying in that area. 11,708 or 700 or low 11,700s up to the 12,050 area. So once we sold through, right, we back tested and demand becomes supply and we dropped and we're pulling back now. It would be good to see if we can get back into the 11,700s, but we did make a lower low, right? So if we look back on the daily chart, that's interesting. We may keep going down, right? Look back on the daily chart. What did we do the last time we were here? It's like we kind of just chopped around. It's not a ton of congestion in this area. I have a level here. Okay, I thought about that. Okay. That's interesting. Hope you guys don't mind the background, the beauty of kids. Yep, let's see. Yeah, that's predictable. Okay. Yeah, we have to see. I'll just look at what we got going on right now. Because yeah, I like that 4 hour, the areas that I mentioned, what we're gonna watch. And also keep an eye on these pivots. We came off the pop purple. Yeah, see if we get back through the blue 11,560s. That's something interesting to watch. Yeah, I definitely want to see that. And these levels also I definitely have some supply levels overhead. Would love if we could buy up into that. If we drop below the 11, the pop purple here at 11,170, the next strong area is the 10,538. Now there is something I wanted to look at, and I think you guys may remember. I don't remember the video specifically, but we did look at this on the monthly chart and we thought it was interesting. I think it was like August, September, October, November. We thought those 4 candles. Here it is, August, September, October, November. So the low area, if we want to say where all these candles intersect, is around 10,950s, right? So I think that's interesting. We went as low as 11,063, so we had to see 10,950s. And the high, if we go from the highest candle out of those, or I mean that the lowest candle out of those, right, out of that area is 12,150. So that's an interesting area to watch. I wonder if we can sort of bounce around here. That being the minimum, the maximum being all the way up here around 12,380s, and then down here around what's this 10,840s. If we could bounce around within that, if we look at these 4 monthly bars here, right? I think that's interesting to watch, at least until we get back over the 12,300s here. I think that's really interesting to watch. So back to the 4 hour. Let's get away from the M&Qs and go take a peek at NVDA. See what chips are doing. Okay. So this is interesting. So look at this little channel area. So we bounced around in the 158 by the 180s for quite a bit, even though it went above for about a week or so, maybe 2. We're back in it, right? And right now we're struggling to get selling below the bottom here. So I'm going to avoid NVIDIA until we get some extension. But this is interesting. If we happen to rise this week, it'd be cool if we can buy back up near the top of this channel around the 180s. But that's something that's really interesting to watch with NVIDIA. The next line down is the 138 area, 138.40s, but just 138s, then the 119s. To the upside above the 181.90s, we have the 200, then the 217 area on NVIDIA. Let's move it on to Microsoft. So if we are peaking at Microsoft, multiple tests of the 242.50s, we're just like we're up around the 247s, right? So we're in between the 244.70s and the 249s. What I would look for is if we can find a little bit of buying and a rise up into the 250s, like 251-ish, and we may, sort of bounce around between this area here, between the 250s and the near the 242-ish area. Let's see how that plays out. But yeah, that's interesting. You have to see how that plays out here, if we see any buying on Microsoft. But I do believe a week or so back, Microsoft did release some data saying that they were planning to do worse the next earnings than expected. So I think they did guide down a little bit. So we have to see how that looks, but that should impact the stock. They're guiding down for a reason. They could be trying to set everyone up for a nice beat to be able to beat expectations, or things really could be going bad for them on a just as far as some of the sectors that they're involved in. So that's interesting to watch on Microsoft. Gave you a couple of levels, 251, then up to 250, 54.90s, then the 257.30s. This lower area below the 240.85, if we happen to continue to drop. The next line is 234. We have a pop purple in the middle, pivot 237. So that's interesting on Microsoft. This is on the 4-hour chart. So I'm definitely going to be watching this to see what type of movement we get. But I probably won't be touching Microsoft at all this upcoming week. Let's check out Meta. So we're bouncing around on this. Looks like this 161 line would be good if we see a rise back near the 170s. The 1-day chart. Let's see, when did we do the last time? If anything, we were down here. Okay. Saw a little bit of bounce in there. It's kind of interesting, but nothing to write home about. Okay, significant level. We're seeing that we sort of do spend some time between the 173s and the 160s. That's interesting. What about if we go below this area? Looks like the next area is the 150 area. Then below that, the 139s. Above the 173s is the 179.60. So that's all interesting. Okie dokie. Keep it moving. So Meta. Check out Apple. Apple's below this 131. This 131 area. Watch out for 127 next, then 124. If we catch a bit above this, maybe get a rise back into the 134s, then maybe back into the 137s. Look to the left. There is a little bit of chop around this area, but it looks like we should settle down around the 127s. If we look here, we tested that numerous times during this week here. And then look, trying to bounce there. We found a little bit of bounce here. Like lots of buy ups into that area, lots of tests. So the 127.40 should provide a little bit of a demand area if we pull into that. If we dip below the 127, watch out for the 124.70s next on Apple. What am I forgetting? Look to Apple. Let me jump to Tesla, and we'll come back later in case I miss anything. Tesla is bouncing around on these little blue lines that we have. If we sell through the 616s, watch out for the Sophie levels into the 580s, and that's usually where we see some buyers step in on Tesla. Even as low as the 540s, probably wouldn't be a bad idea to buy something down there with some time, right? So we have to see. But the thing is, we don't know exactly where this market's going to bottom And usually it's not good to try to guess that. It's good to wait for the market to kind of find some buying and some serious cash flow in. And even some of these bounces, no one knows if any of these bounces, if you're thinking that we're in a bear market, right? And a lot of people do that. You do see rallies in the bear market that turn around and sell right back off, right? It's nothing sustainable. So I'll be definitely careful looking at Tesla and some of the headwinds that they're facing right now. But if we buy back above the 651-ish area, we get a squeeze into the 713s, then there is a potential for the 784-ish area on Tesla. If we dip below the 616s, keep your eye open for the 585, the 579, the 568, and the 562 areas on Tesla. That what am I forgetting? Take a peek at the SPY. I'm just gonna move quickly because those kids are gonna need some. Let's see something. Let's see 362. Let me open this up, right? You see all these lines and it looks so congested. We open this up a little bit wider so we can see what we got going on here. Okay. Okay, nice bounce here. Pull back up into the 364. Then next we have the 367, 369, 372. Below this 362 area, we have the 358, then the 351. We have to see how this resolves, but it looks like we had numerous tests of this 362 area. See if we get a rise here. And where would the rise go? Well, 371 would be nice. I don't know if that's going to happen straight out, but that's nice. Okay, that's interesting. I will, let's see. I think I'm going to stop there because it's but just looking at those specific tickers, it should definitely give us some good levels and some good trades this week. If you like this video, please go to our YouTube channel, Power of Pivots, and subscribe so you can thereby get videos that we do, where you can get content from me, where I post these videos, and I'll be posting some other content as far as intra-week plays and things that we have our eye on. And you can look forward to receiving videos from Elisa as she shows you how she utilizes her power of pivot strategy to find great pre-market, intraday, and post-market entries and exits. Thank you so much for your time. Have a wonderful, I guess, a few hours left of your weekend or your extended weekend. And I'll see you next week.